Hey y'all, today I'll be demonstrating how to make a Fathead buffalo chicken pizza. Today I chose to do buffalo chicken pizza just because I had a leftover rotisserie chicken and happened to have buffalo sauce. But you can do any kind. You can do a regular pizza, pepperoni pizza. If you want a barbecue chicken pizza, you can do that. Find you a good carb-free barbecue sauce. But for at least the crust, you'll need 4 ounces of cream cheese, a cup and a half of shredded mozzarella, 2 eggs, 2/3 cup of almond flour, 4 teaspoons of baking powder, and some seasonings to your liking. Also, I like to put butter on my crust to give it a better flavor. And just go ahead and pick whatever toppings you like, whatever kind of pizza you like. You can create your own. So I started out with my rotisserie chicken that I had left over. So I just shredded up. When I was done, I added the buffalo sauce. And then I also wanted to season the chicken so it tasted better on the pizza. So I added a little bit of Tony Chachere's and some cayenne pepper. And then I set that aside in the refrigerator. And then starting with the crust, you'll need 4 ounces of cream cheese. And put that in a microwave safe bowl. And then you'll add your 1.5 cups of shredded mozzarella. You can use store-bought already shredded mozzarella. I chose to do fresh mozzarella. If you do choose to do fresh mozzarella, make sure you freeze your ball of mozzarella cheese a little bit so it'll shred easily. So stick that in the microwave for 40 seconds. And when it comes out, it's going to be kind of sticky. But that's the binder for the crust. So you'll need 2 eggs. And then you'll need your 2/3 cups of almond flour. You can add that to the cheese mixture, your 2 eggs, and then you'll need 4 teaspoons of baking powder. And you can stir these in. When it's done, you may want to refrigerate it if it's still too sticky before transferring it to your parchment paper. This is when you'll season it. So since I was doing buffalo chicken, I wanted to add a little ranch seasoning. You can find these in the packs. I get it in a little container. Of course, I'm from the South, so I add Tony Chachere's, a little bit of pink Himalayan salt, and some garlic powder. Before transferring it to your parchment paper, you want to make sure you put a little bit of almond flour on the bottom as well as the top. So you want to keep it from sticking, because once you pull it out, you're going to roll it and starting to flatten it on these same sheets of parchment paper. So you want to make sure that you have a good bit of flour to keep it from sticking to it. So kind of forming the shape of a ball. And you can stick it into the refrigerator just like that. I just put it in a little bowl just to keep it from falling and rolling around. Spray your pan well to keep it from sticking. You can use butter. I just used a spray. So when you take it out of the refrigerator, it should be a little bit less sticky. And you'll use those 2 pieces of parchment paper to flatten it out in the shape of a pizza. You can use a rolling pin, or you can just use like a glass cup, or you really could just use your hands. The first pizza I did, I just used my hands and I just pushed it out in the shape of a circle. And again, I'm adding more flour just to keep it from sticking. You'll want to flip it you definitely want to remove this piece of parchment paper that was on the bottom, because you're going to eventually have to transfer it to a pan. So you want to get this one off to where you can add some more flour and get the pizza in the shape of an actual pizza. It looks a mess now, and yours may even look a mess when you remove your parchment paper, but that's the beauty of it. You can just shape it back in the shape of a circle with your hands. And then as you're shaping it in the shape of a circle, you want to start pinching the outer rim of the pizza just to kind of create a little crust. You want to do this because you want it to hold your sauce in. You don't want your sauce to run over. And when you're done, make sure you add a little bit more almond flour to keep your parchment paper from sticking, because we're going to transition this onto a pan. And the way to transition is you just kind of flip it into the pan, and you're going to put the parchment paper back on top of it. So this is the top of the pizza. This is what's going to be facing up. So you're going to flip it over, remove the bottom parchment paper, and then just flip it into your pan. Again, it's not going to end up perfect, but you can always just pinch it back to get your shape. You're going to put it into the oven at 425. Now I put it in the oven for about 10 minutes, and then I took it out and I made a little butter seasoning just to kind of paint over the crust so that the crust takes in like a better flavor. The almond flour has a really strong flavor, so I find if you season the crust, it tastes a lot better. So I did butter, garlic, a little bit of Parmesan, and a little bit more of that little ranch powder, and just paint it over your crust. Then when you're done, stick this in the oven for about 5 to 10 more minutes, but you really want to watch it. If it starts to burn, take it out, and then you want to add your toppings. So today we're doing the buffalo chicken pizza. So I added my buffalo sauce, my chicken that I had seasoned earlier, and then I went ahead and I shredded some more mozzarella. You can do any cheese. You can do cheddar, mozzarella, any cheese that you prefer on your pizza. Go ahead and add. I know a lot of people like feta. Some people with this, they like to add blue cheese to their buffalo chicken. Once you're done adding your toppings, put it back in the oven for about 10 more minutes. I like to only add toppings that need to be heated or melted. If it's some kind of meat, you may want to pre-cook your meat. And voila, you have buffalo chicken keto approved pizza. And you can also add some sauce. I added some buffalo sauce and ranch, and I put it in a Ziploc, cut the corner off, and you can add a little extra toppings.